What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about Lucid, give you a quick overview of some of the data points, break it down on what's really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up slightly, 0.36%, 264 the low, 279 the high. Us going into today, there was a lot of fear associated to tariffs. Since then, things have started to subside. So there was already a meeting between Canada, Mexico, and the States, and it looks as though Mexico is somewhat bending the knee. So their tariffs did get postponed 1 month. They did commit to having, I think it was 10,000 guards or whatever at the border to protect that. So we just have to wait for Canada, but that fear is starting to subside. And then over and above that, you did have manufacturing data very good. So forecast of 49.8, actual was 50.9. So anything above 50 shows more of an expansion within the broader market, vice versa. Anything below 50 shows more of a contraction. So this data is absolutely amazing. No official news associated to Lucid itself though, no SEC filings. There was one article that did come out, so I just want to give a quick shout out to Stuart. He's the one that sent it to me. But as you can kind of see right here, Lucid Motors unveils revolutionary battery tech, game changer for electric vehicles. So if we kind of look at a lot of the highlights, it shows that Lucid Motors has introduced quantum cell technology, a new battery innovation offering up to 30% more range. That's definitely interesting, and it looks as though it's going to be in the second variation of the Gravity, or potentially they're saying later this year, so it might be that, or it could be potentially, I guess, the midsize maybe, but still nonetheless though, it also states right here that Lucid Motors is considering expanding the technology applications into renewable energy storage and aerospace. So you guys know me, I've brought that up time and time again. ESS, that has been one thing that Lucid could have made a lot of money on if they did to kind of just focus on that. I believe it was late 2023 they did quash it, saying that nope, we're not going to be looking at ESS anymore, or it might have been early 2024. But it's good to see that they're still considering it. And I do believe in 2022 they actually leased like a huge plot of land for ESS. They were on their prototype 2 as what they called it at the time. So it's this actually has a lot of good information right here. So let me know your viewpoint on that. As far as shorts, they're increasing 847,000 shares. 23.44% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 279.26 million shares overall are being shorted. So shorts definitely do not feel that Lucid should be as green as it is. So something again to kind of consider. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So you're not really seeing all that much in buying coming from institutions. Rather, it is just algorithmic trading that is really pushing Lucid higher. So again, that's kind of a good thing overall. Moving over to options, 270,000 in calls, 318,000 in puts, 47% of all the options being done today so far are bullish in nature. So you're having very low volume, but then again, as I brought up, that's been more of a common occurrence for Lucid. I'm not really sure why, but it is what it is. So I think just maybe people are not really paying attention to Lucid all that much. Side note, I did get some questions. Am I playing Lucid's earnings through options? And the answer for me at least is no. I just don't see, like, as far as the upside, yeah, if they come out, say the Gravity, like let's say targets 25,000 for overall 2025 production, let's say 15 of that is going to be the Gravity, yeah, I could see a nice run to, let's say, around that $4 range. But anything above that, I don't really see feasible. There's just a lot of fear in the market. But you see a lot of interesting price targets out there saying that Lucid's going to go to like $10 after their earnings, which would be absolutely amazing. But I feel like if anything, it might be slightly green / stagnant. That's just my viewpoint, right? Of course, aside from that though, moving over here, of the call options that are being purchased, you see consensus for it to be above roughly around that 350 range. Nothing really crazy. And then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub 250. So there is more upside anticipated based on this information, at least right now with it at 277. It is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 261 is going to be the next strong support that you'll really want to watch for it to hold. Flip side, $3 is going to be the next strong target and slash resistance for Lucid. So it's going to be stuck in limbo, most likely up until their earnings, unless there is more tariff related negative news to really push it below this S1. But I think in reality, things are kind of subsiding in that regard. No new analyst ratings, nothing like that. Right now, it is still above that 50-day moving average. So essentially bouncing off of that today. And the reason why you do have algorithmic trading really working on in Lucid's favor is because right now it's still above that. So that's sitting at 263. So definitely another key point to really watch for. But right now it's kind of just wedge bound between that 50 and 100-day moving average. So that is sitting at $2.84. So eventually over the next probably later this week, most likely around that Friday, you're going to have a pinch where that 50 and 100 are so converged. You're either going to have a aggressive pop higher or potentially lower. Hopefully by that time, you'll have tariffs kind of not an issue anymore, and it's just going to be simply relying on the data points, which most likely would really push it higher. But what do I know? Let me know your thoughts on Lucid though. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? Going back to that article, what is your general thoughts on this? Like, I know in that fireside chat, Peter kind of talked on solid state battery. This obviously isn't part of that, but that would be a kind of a switch up, definitely. So maybe they were thinking about doing that if they were to go into China, for instance, and enter into that market. They could just piggyback off of NIO's current infrastructure and have that, because NIO has stated that they are going to be allowing competition to use their kind of swap stations. So you never know. Anything is a possibility for Lucid and just EVs in general. Lucid is very good at their technology, so if they find a better way and more advantageous way of doing it, whether it be solid state or even quantum cell, then yeah, they're going to go with the latter. So let me know your thoughts on all that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers, so definitely pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.